time of the week again. Prepare yourself for the surveyors of sauce, the sultans of spaghetti, the whispers in your ears. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the What's Your Spaghetti Policy podcast. Now, here are your hosts, Alex and Jacob.
An octopus, right? Mm-hmm. Like you know what they are?
I'm aware of them, yes. That's correct.
What is an octopus?
It's like a mammal.
Is it?
It's like a mammal. And it lives in the ocean. It slives in the ocean. It doesn't live. It slives because it's...
This has already gone off the rails.
It swims and lives in the ocean.
The thing is...
has 8 legs. Octopi.
So and they know they're really smart and like they're one of the smartest creatures ever. Yada yada.
They're the aliens of the Earth. Yeah.
Full blown, like they think that they might just be aliens in general. Like they're so weird and odd that they are like unnatural to this Earth.
Like what if it? Okay, we'll go on another diatribe in a second, but go ahead.
No, I mean that's fine. Like the thing is like, they're so smart. Okay, let's say you get the ability to speak to an octopus. Mm-hmm. An octopi, or like in their native tongue, whatever that may be.
How do they communicate?
How shocked would they be to find out that we call them octopus?
Probably not too shocked. They're very intelligent, so they would understand that, like, okay, I have 8 legs. I kind of resemble a fleshlight. So yeah, like octopi makes sense. Octopus makes sense. Yeah.
Because we as human, like everything is named. Creatures are named because humans name them.
Yeah. It's kind of arrogant on our end, really.
But I feel like a dog would know that it's a dog because they see other dogs all the time.
Dogs, I definitely feel like would be okay with their names and the naming scheme, right? Like it's like, oh yeah, I'm dog. I am dog. Thanks for the name, human. I am dog. That's it. Yeah, man.
But it's just like, I don't know, I was sitting there, Zoe was reading this book about like the different layers of the ocean, and she got down to like the abyssal layer, and which I was like, whoa, that's metal as hell. Like I know about
man. I love the ocean. It's so massive, and like we haven't even explored half of it. Like not even half.
And I was talking about the that colossal squid that we've only seen like a dozen times or something.
It is so massive too, man. It's like insane how big the thing is, but it's like creepy big.
Yeah. And she was like, I mean, I get abyssal is like a big word for a 7-year-old.
It's kind of crazy. She knows like the scheme of like the way the word works, because it's like I would think like ab-issel. I don't even know if like.
Well, you're dumb, so
ab-wisel is that how I'd say it or something like that. something crazy,
But anyway, she was reading about that, and that just got me thinking, like, an octopus like probably doesn't know what it's actually called.
I would argue
because it's
like
a tetrapod, right?
I don't know what is a tetrapod.
Isn't that what its classification is?
I don't know.
Right? Octopod. Yeah. I mean, it'd be octopod, but isn't there like an actual like scientific?
Yeah, like I there is a scientific term for it, sure, but
something
just gonna
pod.
pop up on the screen. Hopefully,
they yell at me. Don't yell at me.
Okay, scientific name for octopus. Octopoda. Octopoda.
No.
That's what it's. I mean, that's its scientific name.
What's its species name?
Cephalod.
Cephalopod. I was close.
Octopus day. What is all this words you're saying right now, computer? I don't know what the hell it's talking about. It's just like the sentence like in. So it's like, okay, the true octopus. I think it's 100% AI. It says the true octopuses are what the fuck are members of the genus Octopus, a large group of widely distributed shallow water cephalopods. Genus.
Because you have your genus, your species.
Yeah. See cephalopod. Yeah, it says C cephalopod in parentheses, and then the next part is just
because like a skunk is a feline.
Octopus, cyana.
Okay. I'm done with this.
Anyways, yeah, sorry.
Did you know that? Did you know like a skunk is like a fucking feline?
I thought it would be more dog in nature.
No, it's more cat-like.
That's fair. They could. I mean, once you de-skunk them, which is like I guess kind of against nature, so you probably shouldn't do like declawing a cat, like you shouldn't do. But
Oh well, no. Like when you declaw a cat, you're breaking their bones.
yeah, but I mean, like I would assume that like
Rip. I mean, just imagine having your fingernails ripped off.
yeah, but I mean, if you de-skunk a skunk, like you're ripping out a gland, So,
Well, you can take out the anal glands of dogs.
but that feels like against nature too. You know what I mean? Like it's just like it just we want to domesticate these things without like looking at how it affects the animal that we're domesticating. So
There are times in society where we sort of jump the shark. Okay.
mm-hmm.
And to me, the jump the shark moment was one of the many post-COVID jump the shark moments was that streamer's bathwater she was selling.
Belle Delphine, yeah, the first one to do it. Yeah, Belle Delphine.
It was weird.
Was it? She was the first one? Yeah, I think so.
Her like an Amaranth or something.
And there's always been like chicks out there selling their farts in a can too, so it's not like any kind of unique.
But
thing.
again, like I think speaks more to the society than it's just like capitalism will say get what you can get, right?
Yeah.
But it's just like why on earth is there a market for that? But that's not really the point. The point is now today I learned that Sydney Sweeney has a partnership with Squatch, Dr. Squatch soap. Remember that? Remember when that one was like a big fad?
Hey, I don't. Yeah, it was a huge fad, but then I found that like they just bulk purchased their soap from some of their.
I'm pretty sure we talked about it on the podcast.
Yeah, and then like apparently they like go into people's comments and stuff like that and like downvote them or whatever the equivalent is. Like whenever somebody's like Squatch is just like bulk buy soap that they sell,
right.
They distribute, they drop ship
bulk
soap
bought.
Essentially, yeah, and like they apparently like go after people in the comment section about like
no, they would never do that.
Anyways,
so it came out today that apparently now you can have Sydney's Bathwater Bliss, which is a bar of soap with a hint of Sydney Sweeney's bathwater in it.
Legally speaking here, from a marketing perspective, legally, they're allowed to literally like scoop up a little bit of her bathwater, put it into a spray bottle, atomize it, spritz it on the casing of the soap itself, and say, there's a smidge of her bathwater.
Right. And so, like, I guess the question is, did she get in a bathtub and then, like, swash around? Or did she get into a pool and swash around? Because still, the pool is going to have remnants of her in
I'm going to go ahead and say, this is a rare opportunity I could use this. I'm going to go ahead and say she never did any of that, Alex, for 200.
And, like, what's the concentration of Sydney Sweeney to soap ratio?
You're also never going to know that as well. Like, it's literally like, because my thing is that this is literally just marketing, and legally speaking, they don't have to prove anything. Who's going to give a shit?
How high is she on the label of ingredients?
She's just on the label, buddy. They don't even have to like include her in
FDA approved.
Yeah. There's all these questions that we should probably bring up, but the odds are she was just the face of it, right?
Yeah.
Because it's all a work.
So in a statement, the actress began collaborating with Dr. Squatch to create a new soap that the company and the actress say is infused with a touch of her bathwater. Now, infused is an ambiguous word because
these fucking words that they're using, man, such marketing speak, dude.
Last year, she appeared in a body wash advertisement, and the video went viral with more than 1.7 million likes on Instagram. Like, how does that equate to dollars? Because she was paid an exorbitant amount of money for that. In an announcement, the most recent soap collab, she referenced comments made in her 2024 post about buying the bathwater that she's sitting in. And I do think, okay, hold on. When your fans start asking you for your bathwater, you can either ignore it or turn it into a bar of soap, she said in a statement. It's weird in the best way, and I love that we created something that's not just unforgettable, it actually smells incredible and delivers like every other Squatch product.
It's actually very forgettable. As in, like, we're not going to remember this in 2 weeks. It's like it's not going to matter. It's dumb as shit. I hate everything about it. There's no her bathwater probably not even in the bar. I'm gonna say probably here because legally speaking, I don't know if I'm allowed to say that it's not in there because I'm not a scientist and I don't have the breakdown.
Yeah, like
of it.
again, like how much of it?
Yeah, be transparent with me and let me know, and then I'll believe you, right? But until then, I'm
Because
gonna
at
go
least
ahead and
with like
assume,
what's her name, she was like scooping it out of the bathtub and putting it in a bottle and selling it. Right?
even then, it's like
Okay,
it's stale
You're-
bathwater. Who's gonna go and test it for her DNA? You know
yeah,
what I
but
mean?
you're a bit of a degenerate, so I'm gonna ask you this. I'm gonna defer to you.
I'm not gonna buy bathwater though.
no,
I have
no,
my own bathwater, buddy.
I know, but you're still a bit of a degenerate, and you sort of enable this sort of bullshit because like the way of your internet culture, like woo.
This is the
Anyways.
kind of thing I'm against as far as my internet culture goes. But okay, so yeah, I'm a degenerate. Go ahead. Like, I'm sipping on some bathwater. Hold on.
What do you do with someone's bathwater?
Can I don't? That's the thing. Is this is legitimately one of those kinks that I don't
What do
know.
you do?
I don't know what you do. Right? Like with with like feet picks, with like socks that you buy from somebody used or whatever, with like underwear, whatever that you're buying from you. I understand that. I get what you're doing with that. That's gross. Still, I think so. But hey, do you? But it's like with bathwater. What do you sip on it? Do you crack it open and smell it? Do you just idolize it in the shrine that you have? Do you take it to a cloner and say, "Hey, make me one of these," but like I can just put my thoughts into and program it like at a robot? Like, you know, I don't know what you do.
Okay, so if you theoretically, okay, this is a bar of soap, so like you're gonna go through it. Okay, great. And I mean, I'm sure it has like wasn't Squatch's whole thing like no chemicals?
Yeah, that was their whole thing. Yeah.
And you know that this has chemicals in it.
I mean, I would argue that like soap in general has chemicals in it, right? Like you're not
Right.
getting clean if it doesn't have those chemicals.
Right, allegedly.
Allegedly, because I mean, they can sit here all day like, oh, it's made out of coconuts and fucking we use the fibers from ant hairs and we infuse them into a bar of soap. Like, it's still gonna have something to preserve it, right? It's not. It's you can't just because it's got to have a shelf life, right?
So then that leads me to my next question. Is like, okay, this is a bar of soap. It gets used. Okay, it's whatever. But like the actual bath water that gets sold. Okay, we don't know where people are doing with it, but does it not have its own shelf life of like use of like when it's going to expire?
I would assume that since it's not technically a food product, they don't have to like the FDA.
Yeah, but
I don't know if it's FDA. I'm gonna Google it. I'm googling
Because again, if you just put a bottle of water, right? If you put a bottle of water, do you take it from a spout in a jar, in a mason jar, and then you put it away? Theoretically, you should be able to drink that water in 30, 40, 50, 70 years.
Wait,
if
whoa,
you put it in a bunker.
back up. You're talking about bath water, like straight from a tap? Okay,
Regular water.
Okay.
Regular water.
from a tap.
Tap water. Just regular water. Whatever.
Okay.
And you put it in a mason jar, boil it, whatever.
Yeah, you have to sterilize it first. Absolutely.
Boil it, whatever. Okay,
Put it in a
so
sterile
then
container.
Theoretically,
Yeah.
in 100 years, you should be able to crack it open and drink it.
It depends on the
Theoretically.
shelf life of the. Yeah. Okay. Yes. For all intents and purposes, yes. Theoretically. It is.
Theoretically.
Yes.
Okay, so that means if you add chemicals or there is any sort of foreign substance inside of this thing, that it would naturally have a shelf life and it would expire at some point.
Yes.
Okay, so what the fuck is the point?
That's a good question. Because honestly, I'm gonna go ahead and let you know. I don't know. I don't know.
At
I
what
think
point do we have we again jumped the shark? Have we gone too far?
Yeah, I think it's safe to say, as human beings, as
who's
society,
at fault? The people selling the bathwater or the people buying the bathwater?
I think the internet.
The
Yeah,
the
I
consumer.
think I'm okay with the stance that the internet is the problem and the fault is the
People
internet,
that are buying and actively
because they're just victims.
making it a thing.
They're just victims, honestly.
Who
the way I
is?
see it. The people buying the bathwater?
Who?
The people buying the bathwater?
No, they're not.
Because
You know how you can.
they're victims
You
of
know
the
how
internet.
you can. But you can just not do it.
But the internet tells them they have to have it.
No, victim. Oh man, I got to be careful here. Victim implies in this situation that you had no control,
The internet didn't give them control.
but the internet doesn't control you. It doesn't.
That's a bold statement.
You may let it control you, but it cannot physically control you.
Just like guns can't physically shoot people. You gotta let the gun has to let you. I mean, I don't know how that analogy works, but you know what I'm saying. It applies.
That's apples to oranges. One is a weapon of killing. One is like you can literally
Some would argue
and
the internet
turn the internet off.
Is a weapon of killing.
Yeah, but you can turn the internet off.
I wish they would, dude. I wish they would just flip the big switch, dude. I understand that it's kind of like ironic because this podcast doesn't happen without the internet.
Well, not necessarily.
Well, even if we recorded in person, we got to take this podcast, put it on a cassette player, and take it door to door and sell it as like a product. Honestly, low key, fun marketing plan. Like it's like
but to do that every week,
campaign every week, it feels like
that's a lot of work.
So like ironically speaking, like yes, this podcast
it would cost us more because you're going to buy tapes. You're going to have to make sure everyone has a tape player.
And like maybe honestly, like maybe that's the thing. It's like, oh, my chair just dropped. Nice. Okay. I pressed the button and then it dropped like 10 seconds later. But maybe the thing is like, maybe we don't have to do this, you know? Maybe all this like life and streaming and like capitalism and like everything, maybe we don't have to do it all, you know? We turn off the internet for a little while.
No one's ever said that we've had to do it.
We just survive, man. Just
now, would you say like,
you know?
Would you say that if you start a series, right, you're a writer and you start a series and you get like 6/8 of the way done, do you have to finish it? Are you obligated?
No, I don't think so.
I know we're not going to get into the semantics of like listening to an audiobook and reading a book, but did you
reading is reading at this point, yeah.
No. Did you consume the Song of Fire and Ice?
Yes, I consumed Song of Fire. I got all the way to the last book. Yeah, all the way to the last book. Listened to all of them.
Okay. Has your interest in that series completely vanished?
I have zero interest in anything Games of Thrones related. Yes.
Okay.
Now, is that because I've already seen the series finale? Is that because I've already seen no, I think it's strictly just like it had its time and its place, and it's 20 years past now at this point.
It had its moment in the sun and it has faded. Well, you know, some people don't feel that way. Some people don't feel that it's okay to just like let it off into the sunset and
some people just gotta let go.
Some people don't really, you know, people don't like George R. R. Martin.
Are you about to tell me that they're suing George R. R. Martin to finish the book? Is that like the story? Because I haven't heard it, but it sounds like something that happened.
But my theory has long been that he'll never finish the series and that they'll either get an AI to write it or a ghostwriter will finish it when he's dead.
Okay.
That is because he has 2 books left.
Allegedly.
No, there's 2. There are 2 books left in the series to be finished.
That's what he said, though, right?
Correct. Well, the book is not done.
I mean, that I have a theory too.
Winds of Winter is the next one, allegedly.
I have a theory too that he's finished the books, but because of the reception of how Game of Thrones ended, and that was the actual ending, he's like, I'm just gonna move to something else, like Elden Ring.
I think,
you know,
initially yes, but I think we're far enough away that you could. I mean, they're still making video games, dude. So like, and that's a whole different beast because it takes years and years of development. But I think that because of the show, by proxy, he has become. Again, like I have often said, like he doesn't. At the end of the day, he doesn't owe anybody anything to finish it. I think it's a bit shitty to not finish it because you gained an insane amount of popularity and you became a fucking millionaire because of the HBO show and got more fans ever than you ever dreamed possible.
Yeah.
Like, again, at the end of the day, there's no obligation except for to the publisher that he signed a book deal with.
Not to mention the fact that the books have been out for like decades, like even before
92, I believe was the first one, and then the most recent one was 2011.
So
it's
14 years, bud. You know,
he has recently put on his blog post. Are you ready?
Yeah. This is me.
No.
You know, he sees all the fame and all the. Oh yeah, sorry for the audio listeners. I just rolled my eyes as hard as possible. They came out of my eye sockets, actually.
So, the beginning of this article is George R. R. Martin has addressed the ongoing complaints around the progress of Winds of Winter, the planned 6th novel in his fantasy series of Song of Fire and Ice, telling Game of Thrones fans, "You have given up on me."
Yeah, dude. What the fuck do you mean? Just shut the fuck up. Oh, I hate him so much. Sorry, go ahead.
Last week, Martin joined the production of an upcoming animated Hercules movie in his latest extracurricular activities that's not working on the long-awaited Winds of Winter. Martin will serve as producer on the project, which will adapt the classic Greek tale of Hercules' 12 labors. Under the title of A Dozen Tough Jobs, the movie will retell the events from the perspective of a farmer in 1920s Mississippi. In this blog post, Martin addressed the response to the news from Game of Thrones fans, which has been universally negative. I know. Okay, here we go. This is his quote.
Okay.
Starting.
His quote unquotes. Got it.
His quotes. I know that some of you will just be pissed off by this, as you are by everything that I announce here that is not about Westeros or the Winds of Winter. You have given up on me or on this book. I will never finish Winds. If I do, I will never finish A Dream of Spring. If I do, it won't be any good. I ought to get some other writer to pinch hit for me. I am going to die soon anyways because I am so old. I lost all interest in A Song of Fire and Ice decades ago. I don't give a shit about writing any longer. I just sit around and spend my money. I edit the wild card books too, but you hate wild cards. You may hate everything else that I have written. The Hugo winners, the Hugo losers, the Song for Leah, the Dying, and then he goes on to name all these things that he's worked on and all the other anthologies that I have edited with my friends. You don't care about any of those. I know. You don't care about anything but Winds of Winter. You've told me this so often enough. The thing is, though, is I do care about them. And I care about Westeros and Winds as well. The Starks and the Lannisters and the Targaryens, Tyrion and Asha and Dany and Daenerys, the dragons and the direwolves.
If
I care about all of them.
Do the jerk off motion as hard as possible right now. Just imagine that I'm doing it, because
I do care about them all more than you could ever imagine. I loved A Dozen Tough Jobs the first time I read it ages ago, and I love Howard too. It saddens me that he did not live long enough to see this film, and I hope that we do him justice. How can we not? Blah, 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 blah. I wish you all could share my excitement at the prospect of this movie.
I mean, okay, hey, I get it. You know, he has probably heard it over and over and over and over again.
That is the burden you bear.
One, yeah, buddy, you wrote the books. You can't really back out of it now. But two, it's like, dude, if you're tired of it, just fucking say that, dude. Shut up. Quit your bitching.
That's not good enough. But that's not, again,
because
in his defense, that's not good enough.
Because you can hear this desperation of like, no, guys, no, I still love them. They're my favorite. And it's just like, dude, buddy, we don't give a shit. And if anybody out there does give a shit, it's been 14 years since the last book, my guy. Put it down. Let it go. Crazy. Get out of here. The show ended was 7 years ago? Hell, I don't even know. Was it 2008? When did the show end?
2000, bro. You mean 2018?
2018? I don't know when did the fucking show go off the air?
Before COVID.
Game of Thrones.
I'm pretty sure it was before COVID.
HBO.
This comes up a lot because, like, you know,
2019, May 19th, 2019.
Right before we started this podcast.
Literally
like 2 months before
they scraped by. They probably started COVID. I don't know. I can't say that. Allegedly.
2 months before we started this podcast.
6 years. The show's been done for 6 years. It's like that one subreddit that's on and on about the ending of Game of Thrones. And it's like, guys, I get it. You hated it. But get the fuck over it, guys. There's so much other content out there. Why are you giving this dude any bit of your time? It's like, it's like.
I mean, I'm not going to be a hypocrite and be like, there are things that I hate still and will take to my grave hating.
Hey, the Moon Knight show. Are you still upset about it? Yeah. Do you go and rant about it online every single day? It's been out for 20 years or whatever now. No.
3 years.
It came out. It was terrible. We all yelled about it. We hate it, and we let it go. Guys, you know, Jesus. Shut the fuck up. Both sides. And George, fucking die already. My God.
No.
Don't die on my part. Don't die by assassin, but just old age and like a bunch of hookers and like cocaine. Do that, okay? But just quit trying to be relevant. And it feels like the only time he tries to like drum up anything for his other stuff, he has to bring up the fact that like Game of Thrones, so people get in there, they rage bait against it, and it's like, I'm gonna go watch this and review bomb it and all this shit just to see how bad it is, and it's like, I guess it sells, whatever, you know. Ever get the ticket sale.
Speaking of review bombing, it looks like Helldivers 2 has been review bombed with its most recent update.
What did they do this time? Were they fucking?
I actually don't know.
Yeah,
I think they're ending. I think they're ending they ended or ending, depending on when this comes out. They ended the
newest.
Like literally, like the difficulty was so hard that they're trying to end the game.
Like
and there's one last city left in the game that's to push the forces back.
Controversy. That's the word I was looking for. So like they're trying to like legitimately just like be like, hey, we're done, guys.
No. See, for people who didn't play the first one, they would have universal resets all the time. Because it was a constant, like, you know, if the enemies took over the capital.
Feeling of progression to the point in which you feel like you got to tune in, but then you get to a certain point where like, okay, we have to reset everything. So you let the other, like, kind of like how Final Fantasy blew in their entire world up and like they started over from scratch, but they made it like into a big ordeal.
Essentially, I mean, but this seems to be, again, I've not touched Helldivers 2 in quite some time, but that seems to be the thing. I happen to see, it's like, oh shit, it was the CJ meme from Grand Theft Auto. It's like, oh shit, here we go again, and like you just see like
this time over, it's big battle for Super Earth. Okay,
yeah. So like from what I had surmised, that was the difficulty was so hard, and that the forces are taking over and essentially going to destroy the game.
I mean, okay. Now I'm caught back up. So they're basically making it too hard. Players are bitching about it, but the reasoning behind making it too hard is because like this is the end of the universe, iteration number 1. We're gonna start over here, basically. But like the people are like, no, don't. We're gonna review bomb you for that, and it's like, I don't know, man. I got so soured with like their PR team, I guess is what it's called, because like during the whole. It just feels like they're in the whole debacle with PlayStation Network, and they were like, I understand like why you're doing it, but that
was the second offense.
Yeah, because the first one was like, God forbid they put the trans flag on a fucking.
No. The first offense was the people were turning. It was because they nerfed all the wrong shit to make you use all the bad shit.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like the whole trans.
Because like it came out and like everybody had like that one loadout they used in the gun, and then they're like, no. We made all these other guns. You're gonna have to use.
That was like our main complaint whenever the first nerf wave they did. For a bit,
and then we came back and I was like, this is not fun anymore, because like the things that we have paid, right, or that we bought those battle passes and locked these guns.
Yeah, this is like, yeah, we're paying for this shit, and you're fucking.
And then those guns no longer work like they were intended.
Yeah, I'm glad I spent all that money. Spent all that money on it, but
I mean,
and it's but at the same time, it's like one of those things where like their PR team coming out and like, you know, like shit talking people who are disagreeing with it, or like have actual complaints and whatnot. And it's like, it's a bad look, my guy, you know, it's a bad look.
I just feel like, you know, when we had Perky on here there like a couple weeks ago, where it's just, it's so hard to navigate anything now.
I want to draw the argument back to the fact that the internet is in fact the problem and the culprit here, but whatever.
I also think that it is a loud minority.
Did you? But again, where do they get their voice from? The audience knows. That's right, folks. It is, in fact, the internet. They get their voice from the internet because it gives them this sense of, like, there's 100,000 of me thinking the same thing, when in reality it's 2 guys and a couple of bots. So,
yeah, again, we've jumped the shark in terms of trolling. Because now
it used to be fun, dude. It used to be fun. You used to being a good time, you know. You just like
it's you don't even do it anymore.
I don't have the internet anymore.
Trolling and conspiracy theories, 2 things that have been taken away from you.
Yeah, dude. It has been, because they make conspiracy theories stupid, and like, yes, they've always been stupid. I get that. I understand that completely. But they were
fun.
They were fun and stupid that weren't about things that actively affected our daily lives. Right?
They weren't 100%. Harmful.
No, they weren't. But I think that I will always make the argument that we failed as a society when we allowed flat earthers to have their conspiracy theory and feel like this is on this, huh? I will die on this fucking hill that like they are the reason that we are in the state that we are in. Flat earthers are, in fact. So, hey, you know, again, another episode with another controversial opinion here. But
do you remember when we did that?
Dude, we had a whole era of it. We need to get back to that, man. That was fun. But
then
then again,
it evolved.
Yeah, I guess so. Because it didn't really do anything for us
I don't
anyways. We didn't
really
get
think any of them. I don't think any of them.
nobody
were that
really gave a
controversial.
shit. Yeah, and like we never really had anything that was super controversial. But
No one was like, "Bro, I can't believe you said that."
yeah, it's at the same time it's like it's hard, right? Okay, so like there's a certain sect of people out there, right? We know them who like they have an easy path to like saying something really bad, really controversial, right? Because it's like it's really low hanging fruit. You know, you could drop the N word and be like, I could say it all I want, dude. I can say it all. It's just a word. You know, they can go the bad, like they can call a group of people really bad names or whatever, and like it's really easy. But then like when you're on the other side of that, you know, you're two, let's say, good guys, right? We're good guys. It's really hard to be controversial.
Depends on who you ask. Again, like it's all about which group of people you ask.
Yeah, but us, like, you know, it's hard for us to be controversial because it's like, what are we gonna say? You know, give me health care that's affordable. Damn it, you know, like, oh shit, you know, he's on one, you know. So
I mean, the thing about hot takes and like, you know, these things that you can say that it's like, oh, what opinion are you defending like this? It's just like it doesn't do much because, again, going back to your thing about the internet, is like they've all been exhausted, and the uniqueness of having this idea of like I think The Dark Knight Rises is the best Batman live action movie, right? Okay, but like it's not that far fetched to think that.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Because
and
like
if I heard that, I'd be like, okay, cool, man.
But how much
it is
of
a good
that is
movie.
I mean, how much of that is attributed to the internet and then just being exhausted with social media, or just kind of getting older and not giving a shit anymore?
I think
Because 10 years ago, that's something that like you engage with on Twitter or Reddit, but now it's just like someone says something dumb, and I'm like,
I think it is a
whatever.
mixture
I
of
just
like
move
one.
on.
Yeah, I think it's a mixture of like one, people don't give a shit anymore. Like it's like people just because it's like we've started to understand that like, the only reason you're saying that dumb shit, especially on on Twitter nowadays, is because like you're engagement bait. But two, it is a lot of like just getting older and like being like getting to the point like our fathers and their fathers were, where it's just like, buddy, I'm too tired. I don't give a shit. Honestly, like you can have all the opinions you want, but I just don't give a shit. You know, like that's cool. I'm gonna go out here and like fucking work some more.
But
'cause
isn't
I gotta
that
afford?
isn't that
food?
in part the reason why flat earthers and anti-vaxxers movement started? Because people at that time, 10, 15 years ago, were just like, I don't give a shit, and they didn't push back.
Yeah, they didn't punch him in the fucking mouth when they needed it, dude.
You didn't do it either.
Yeah, I wasn't around, man. I was a baby when
You
this all
were too.
happened. Okay,
You were not.
okay.
a
I was
baby.
like, I was in probably like just starting college. But what am I gonna do? You know,
Punch him in the mouth. Put your money where your mouth is.
that's a lot of violence, man. I don't know.
But
I don't
again,
subscribe to violence,
you're part of
dude.
the you're part of the problem is you want everyone
I
else
don't
to
think
do
it should
all
be
the
up to
fucking
me
work.
to fucking do it, though. It has to be an entire society. Otherwise,
Why does everybody else have to do it?
Because
the whole idea is that if it's like the trash on the side of the road,
Yeah.
right? If you see trash and you don't pick it up because your mindset, well, somebody else will see it and pick it up, and then what happens is nobody picks it up.
No, you
and
know what happens
therefore-
if I pick that trash up? People look at me and they're like, that guy's just picking that trash up because he wants attention. That's what happens, right? It's nobody ever thinks like, oh, what a kind gesture. It's like, oh, the dude's probably filming a YouTube video now. He's like trying to fucking harbor some clout or whatever. And it's like in reality, I'm like, I just want to pick up the trash, dude. I don't know. I don't have any.
So-
I don't have a.
I think a lot of that is you in your own head.
It's in your head, dude. Fuck you. You
Because
be worrying about it,
it's
dog.
like who gives a shit?
Yeah,
if people think
Yeah, I'm trying to get.
if you want
to
to
that.
if you want to go in your neighborhood and pick up all the trash, you and your kids, you drive around there out on their fucking RC car thing, and you just take a trash bag and you pick up the trash.
Give me a backpack with a trash can.
Are you doing that for attention?
No, I mean I'm
Then who
not.
gives a fuck?
But then like, is it? But then at the end of the day, am I doing it for attention? Like, why am I doing this to begin
No.
with?
But how are you supposed to pick up trash without a trash bag? Like you're going to naturally draw eyes because of the nature of what you're doing is considered odd or strange, or hey, look at that guy, he's picking up trash. Whereas like that's a different situation as opposed to someone who wants to fuck a printer and tell people on the internet, because that is very clearly something you're doing on purpose.
Yeah.
Because it would be different if you posted on social media,
And I think
or if
that's
you
the point.
actually
That's the
did
part.
start a YouTube where you were picking up trash.
Yeah.
But if there is no ulterior motive to what you're doing, and you're doing it just because you happen to be out with your kids in your neighborhood and you're picking it up, then you have nothing to worry about. Who
Yeah.
gives a shit what fucking Steve Dave says?
Because
or
they're
thinks?
gonna. I mean, like, yeah, I think that like we do need to start this whole movement of just like doing things for the sake of doing things and not creating YouTube channels and whatnot. And that's why I kind of like have some like, I have no beef with the dude on there that's on YouTube and TikTok and whatnot that mows lawns for free, you know, and then he posts a video or whatever on YouTube, and it's like I understand like, you know, he's making revenue, and he's like he claims that's the thing, dude, is like I get it, it's a great service. You know, you're doing a kindness, mowing these lawns, it's these dilapidated houses and whatnot, people who can't afford it, people who like have overgrown lawns. But it's like, if it was all about the kind act that you're doing, there would be no need for the video and the, I mean, outside.
Then no one would know about it.
Yeah, and then it's like, but he's still making revenue.
If
It's just
you're
hard for me
good
to
at
like
something,
care.
never do it for free.
Yeah, I mean, it's like it's hard for me to care because yes, you're doing a good, kind gesture, but it's like, okay, so are you taking all the proceeds from the video and dumping them into like a charity? Because otherwise you're pocketing the cash. And so like, you're not doing this for the out of the kindness of your heart. You're doing it as a job, right? And it's okay, then just say that, you know, like just say that it's a job. It's not like it, but it
doesn't hit the same. It doesn't work the same.
I know. It's almost like everything's a fucking work. And it's like everybody's just doing things because it's fucking clout chasing and it's a revenue stream. And it's like, gee, and it's like, quit videotaping. I'm just trying to fucking pick up trash in my neighborhood, dude. Like, God, get out of here.
But no one's videotaping.
I know, but then in my brain, I think somebody is. But then it's like
what if
main character syndrome. Like, nobody gives a shit.
What if somebody's filming you without your consent?
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Picking up trash.
And that's the other form of videos you fucking see, right? It's this whole, like, a random stranger on the street has a beautiful singing voice. Like, look at this. It's crazy. And it's like, I hate that content too, dude. I just hate the internet, man. I just hate the internet, dude. It's stupid. All of it's stupid. So it's so dumb, you know?
Yeah. Well, how do you feel about tattoos and what is it? Tardigrade tattoos?
Dude, I think it's the coolest thing I've heard in a long time. It is very dumb. It is looking into the science behind it. I understand how it could be beneficial, right? But waste of resources. The only thing I could think of was like every time we're tattooing very literally microscopic organisms.
So
the voice in the back of my head, the Alex
they're actually
voice.
tattooing those things.
Yeah.
I didn't read the article.
Oh no, it's fine. So the tardigrade, right? Let me break down for you. You know what a tardigrade is, right?
I do. It's like the little bear looking thing.
They call them water bears, I think is what they're called, but they're literal microscopic. Organisms. They used, I believe, hold on, I got it written down somewhere.
I thought there was a movement of people that were getting that tattooed.
Oh, no. They're again, this is like the Alex voice in my back of my head's going like, oh, that's very cool, but like, can we like solve like world hunger first? Or like, you know, I don't know, like maybe fix some new vaccines against these like really deadly diseases. Invest in
celebrity bathwater soaps.
Maybe like, why is that big? It should be. But anyways, but no, they are tattooing these microscopic organisms, right? And so like also a small aside, the tardigrade is like one of the planet's most resilient organisms, like even more resilient than cockroaches. It can survive in outer space and be reinvigorated, I guess, or brought back to life.
And like in the Arctic,
things are crazy.
Hot magma.
Yeah, it's a crazy little creature, but it's like they use an electron laser, right?
But these freaking lasers on their freaking heads.
They use the
laser beams.
They use the freaking lasers, okay? And they tattooed this water bear. I forget what they put on them. They just put lines, and they were like, this article was like, yeah, dude, and like 40% of them survived. It was crazy, and I was just like, it's kind of low numbers, but hey, you know, I guess they're microscopic organisms. Who gives a shit? I don't know what they do outside of just being small and like surviving, but.
So there's literally no point to it then, other than just to say that they did.
The idea that they said that this could lead them to being able to print microelectronics or sensors onto living tissue.
Oh, right? So they can have their like personal Game Boy.
I don't know, man. Honestly, like it's one of those things where it's so high level. I don't know what the fuck they're gonna do with it. It just sounds like they just want to put some fucking rad ass tattoos on these tardigrades. I'm gonna get fucking feedback for tardigrades. however you say it, the water bears. That's why they say
There you
water
go.
bears. It's so fucking easy to say. But I think it is very neat because it's like,
guess.
like give the water bear a fucking tramp stamp, dude. Hell yeah, dude. Fucking slap it up, like dab me up, bro. What did I get? You got a butterfly, dude. What's mine say, dude? What's mine say? Well, I forgot what the other one was, but whoa or something like that. I don't remember.
What is the other one?
Yeah. I don't
Oh my
remember.
god.
Shit,
What
dude.
is mine say? Dude.
Man, I'm in vacation mode, man. I'm so excited, dude. I'm happy.
What a movie. Like the thing is like if you make that movie like that and American Pie and Road Trip and Euro Trip, like you could make those movies, but they would not be the same.
They'd be very watered down, yeah.
And it's like it's just interesting how those teen cult classics. Like to me, the last one that is successful is Superbad. Like that's the last one,
and that
was 2007.
Superbad. I think you could do because I don't think there was anything too bad.
I mean,
in
maybe,
Superbad.
but it's different than like what Euro Trip and stuff was, or like American Pie and all that shit.
American Pie. I think the Schiffler stuff would probably have to be like worked on. Stifler. Sorry, Schiffler. It's like that's close enough.
It's Country Mac, dude.
Yeah, I think that Stifler stuff would have to be kind of reworked a little bit because it is very chauvinistic, kind of like whatnot, and like.
But it's a movie.
Yeah, and to be fair, from what I remember in my childhood, like the 2000s era were all about just seeing boobs, like as much as you could. We were teenage boys, sure, but it
felt
felt
we
like
gravitated. That was what was in our real life algorithm.
Yeah, and it just, there was probably other content during that time, but like for the most part, like I was only consuming content with boobies in it. So
you still get excited when you see it.
Hey, and that's okay. People out there, I don't want you getting the wrong idea. It's not because like I don't value the breast for what it is, right? As a life-giving I was about to say creature, organism. It's very, boobs are nice. They do a lot of good things. They're great.
I don't think you have to defend tits.
I get excited when I see full-on wiener in a show or a movie because it's like it's about the progressiveness of moving past this pearl. I fucking am so in vacation mode that I can't talk anymore. Pearl clutching, right? Where it's like I think I want to say that there was full-on wiener in Blue Eye Samurai, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hell
that's
yeah,
also but that's also animated.
And you better believe every time I saw a full little wiener flopping around there, I got hell yeah, dude. Just like whenever I saw full-on tits.
Spoiler alert! I don't believe there's any in Shogun.
There is boobs, but no boob. There's one boob.
Yes.
One boob,
Yes.
no wieners, unfortunately. Sorry, guys.
Correct.
But
did you finish it?
A lot of exposed bones. So
Did you finish it?
I'm on episode like 6. I'm getting there. I know that like it's been 2 weeks, but I'm only on episode 6. So I'm working on it.
Vacation and all that.
Yeah.
Do you have any? So like, by the time this comes out, you will have come back from vacation. But do you have any sort of like rituals or superstitions when you go on trips?
No. We
As
just kind
far
of
as, like,
I guess our
as far as
ritual would be going to the same place.
Well, no, I just mean like in terms of like preparation. Like I always, if it's longer than 3 hours, I've always got, my water. But I always take at least like a Nutri-Grain bar or an energy bar or something like some sort of snack. So that way, if I do happen to get stranded, I do not starve.
I didn't think about that, but now I feel like I should. Yeah, that's the thing. When we travel, we always have like a cooler full of food and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so.
and to be honest, you never travel unless it's to go on vacation.
Yeah, so I don't travel very much at all.
Or you're with me and I've got to do all the fucking work.
Yeah,
what an easy life you live. You don't have to do any work.
I have a pretty cushy life, so
you don't do anything.
I do a lot of thinking, and I work on my manuscript a lot.
That's dangerous.
Yeah.
Your manuscript.
Yeah, I've got this little book I keep of like just my thoughts, my inner thoughts. I should start keeping a book of my inner thoughts in it, but at the same time, who the fuck am I? Who cares? So,
yeah.
No, I don't do rituals. Maybe I should get some. I guess I don't know, man. We just travel. I pack everything up the night before. Actually, it's like a week-long process of getting all the stuff we need. But
there's also the idea, one of your fears is irrational of like, oh, I'm driving and like this bear just like will attack me on the side of the road.
Well, I'm in the car,
okay.
so I'm just gonna hit him with it. But
what if it's a big ass bear and he knocks?
I'm gonna drive fast.
He just like rams it.
That's the thing. It's like I would hit it with the car and it would like get lodged in the windshield and start clawing at us from the inside and like it'd be even worse. But
or you do hit it and it's like it just destroys your car.
Yeah, and it in like a full on Hulk situation when you get launched over the side of the bear over a bear. Like
Or have you ever seen when people like hit a deer at full blast?
Yeah, it fucking destroys the car, but also like the deer implodes and whatever. But a lot of times, dude, those antlers, man, those are dangerous. People get scared by them a lot. So.
Scared,
dude. Scared.
What kind of word is that?
Scared, dude.
Scared?
Yeah, dude, you get scared by a fucking deer horn,
I know what you're trying to say. You're talking like a skewer.
Yeah, scared, dude. Yeah, dude.
Skewer. Why can't you say it correctly?
That's how you say it, dude. It's skewered. Scared, dude. You fucking scared it, dude.
You're missing like 3 letters.
Nah, you rush them all together and that sounds just fine,
Skewered.
Yeah, you get skewered by a deer. So
the whole point was there was an article that came out, right? Then some lady get attacked and she happened to like thwart off this big ass bear.
Yeah,
because
she had pocket snacks.
She had pocket snacks, bro.
Yeah, dude.
So
what did she hit him? What did she hit him with? Bag of cookies. She literally just hit him in the face with a bag of cookies. He smelled the cookies and was like.
So she was, but the worst part was she was walking. This was in Florida because
with her dog. Yeah.
And she had a Chihuahua, which is not really a
13
dog in my opinion.
Yeah, it's a rat, but
it's whatever. I mean, it's classified as canine, but
yeah, technically speaking.
Whatever. The bear wanted to eat that. He saw that
little
old
rotisserie chicken, dude. Little rotisserie chicken to that bear.
Would swallow it in one bite, my guy.
I think it would take 2 bites.
Dude, again, are we gonna go back to 200 episodes where you think you could a bear, dude?
Yeah, but I mean, I know that it could probably swallow it in one bite, but I feel like it would choke. It's gonna need 2 bites at least.
Have you ever seen an alligator?
How often do animals choke to death?
I think
it's gotta be pretty often, right?
Nah, I don't think so. Probably not as often as you think. They also like have giant jowls where they can just
yeah, and their bodies are designed to like if they get something caught in their esophagus, they could probably just move their esophagus to where like it just adjust it to where you don't choke.
And again, like their entire like neck tunnel system is like as big as your head, whereas like I mean think about how tiny your throat is.
Yeah,
that's why we get choked on fucking oxygen, bro.
Dude, anything over 2 inches and you could die from it. So
2 inches.
I'm pretty sure, dude. I'm pretty sure it's like 2 inches. You fucking dead. Because an inch and a half, you're fine. Probably fine. You swallow a whole.
I
over 200,000 pets a year are seen by veterinarians for choking incidents. So that doesn't mean they die from it.
How many of those are dogs with dog toys?
75%. Probably a lot of them. Yeah.
Because how many
other animals?
How many fucking moose are gonna go to the vet? Just walk into the vet.
Carnivorous animals like roadrunners, vipers, and herons can also die from choking on prey.
Birds are kind of dumb.
That's fair. I'll give you that one. Yeah. Roadrunner especially. Actually, Roadrunner was pretty smart though because he was always killing that fucking coyote, dude. That coyote's died like 100 times.
He's never died, dude. He had that damn cheat code. He had that invincible.
But I think he did die, but it was like a simulation. So every time he was reborn back into the simulation. So and really it was just like
timeline.
Yeah. So really it was like what is that show even called? Fucking hell.
Looney Tunes.
Was it just Looney Tunes? And that was just like I guess it was like. That was like the Saturday Night Live, and they were just a bit on that Looney Tunes show.
Because you had Daffy and Bugs.
Yeah, so I think Roadrunner and Coyote are probably the first iteration of the Matrix.
And the Foghorn Leghorn. That's all.
A notoriously racist character, Foghorn Leghorn. Yeah.
It was the 60s.
Yeah. Dude, if there was any... No, okay, so the 2 characters out of Looney Tunes that I would think would have dropped and have probably dropped the N-word a lot of times, Foghorn Leghorn and... No, Daffy Duck's fine. He's good. For some reason, I feel like Daffy Duck, clean as a whistle. Yosemite Sam absolutely has dropped it at minimum every single time that he's been to anywhere that has anybody of color. At
Well,
least.
he is a redhead, so notorious white supremacist.
No, dude, I just think he's a fucking from that generation that just dropped it like crazy because like
What
that was
is Yosemite Sam? He's not an animal.
he's
right?
he is legitimately just like a cowboy. He's a six shooting carrying, and he's just mad at the world. Bugs Bunny. I think him and Bugs right have a spat. Is that what like his who's Yosemite Sam's like big guy?
I think
Yosemite,
they all cross over, right? Somebody is like you got the olds that are listening or yelling
the
at us
olds,
right
yeah,
now.
dude, fucking you old ass pieces of shit who know this. Yeah, you know what we're talking about. Hey, go ahead and take your fucking arthritis medication. Yeah, dude, got him, baby. Let's go, dude.
Have you had your Metamucil today?
Yeah, you better. If I can get blocked up again, you have to go to the doctor for that. It's gonna be embarrassing for you, really. So,
Or
um,
you also have a certain sect of our audience that likes to shit their pants on a regular basis and
yeah,
is
dude.
proud of it.
I don't. I think it's kind of concerning how close they get to shit in their pants on a daily basis, really.
Right.
And like as somebody who does like to hold their bodily functions as long as possible, I don't get that close. I'm never like prairie dogging it because that's too close from my opinion. So
My dog, every time I walk him, he always prairie dogs, dude.
I just buddy, it's like come on, like let me know you got to go sooner than that, you know?
Well, because I walk almost at the same time every day. He's acclimated to going at that time.
Yosemite
So it's
Sam
like
is a villain. So, but yeah,
I wasn't talking about a villain. It was whether or not he was a human being or some creature.
no, he's a human. Yeah, I mean, he's modeled after like cowboys from like the.
Well, I know that, but he's the only character in that show. You're thinking
No,
you're well Elmer Fudd.
Elmer Fudd, Yosemite Sam.
You were confusing. Elmer Fudd is the one who beefs with Bugs Bunny.
That's true. Yeah. Well, no, I feel like Yosemite Sam.
It's
also
it's
did.
Wabbit season.
Yes, I know that. Like that's yes.
That's
Elmer Fudd hated Bugs Bunny. Yes, but who was Yosemite Sam's rival?
Daffy Duck.
Was it Daffy Duck? Oh, wait, hold on. In a Daffy Duck cartoon called Along Came Daffy, Daffy is has to contend with two Yosemite Sams. What the fuck? Okay. So I guess he's just like a pocket like villain for the show. He doesn't have like an enemy or whatever. He's just like kind of there.
We're gonna start a new
He was a
podcast.
Confederate
Looney Tunes
army
lore.
soldier. This dude's a racist piece of shit. Absolutely. Absolutely. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? He was a prison guard. Oh man, he is. Oh, he's a back to blue guy.
Is our new Patreon exclusive podcast the Looney Tunes lore?
Honestly, might as well dive right into it. That would be that would just be fun just to do. Just like okay, today we're talking about the controversial character Yosemite Sam. He was in fact a Confederate soldier. He did use the N-word in episode 73, and yeah, he's just your stereotypical Confederate soldier, gun wielding, racist old Looney Tunes character. So
Yeah. Works for me.
yeah, I think it's fun.
Is it?